So what is a CEO of a freight broker business? We hear that term, we hear people use the term CEO. What does that really mean? What does that entail for you? What type of responsibilities does that give you? Well, the CEO of a freight broker company, it's about developing a company. It's about building a company, starting from zero, and you implementing certain processes, certain procedures that allow for that business to grow over time, right? So when we start thinking about a CEO, Chief Executive Officer, that comes with decisions. You have to be a decision maker, right? And one of the things that you are probably going to take a look at some point is mitigating risk. Business comes with risk, life comes with risk. You and I know that there are certain things that we have no control over, right? As the CEO of the company, I am the head. I am in charge of this company moving forward. I am the guy. So if something happens to me, if I'm no longer here, there's a very, very good likelihood that this business will not move forward. How do I mitigate that risk? Because I've made promises, right? I've promised my family that I would run and operate a successful business and we would never have to worry about money. But what if something happens to me? What do I have in place to mitigate that particular risk? I'm Brandon with Alliance Logistics, and in today's video, I'll share with you a major risk that all freight broker CEOs find themselves exposed to at some point. I'll show you how I manage and mitigate that risk, and you might want, just might want, to consider these as options for yourself as well. So let's get down into the business. So the reality of this world, whether we understand it or not, whether we want to deal with it or not, you and I could be here today and gone tomorrow. And sometimes we don't have a whole lot of control over that. Shit happens, as they say. And when it does, either you're prepared for it or you're not. Some people think that it's a good idea to prepare against that downside, to say, you know what, there are protections that I can take right now to protect against me unexpectedly leaving this place. Because if I unexpectedly leave, then there's a possibility all of my dreams could come crashing down, right? And they will for me, but they don't have to for the people that are left here after me. So as the head of my household, as the head of my circle, I am someone that's concerned about what happens after I'm gone. Not everybody has that way of seeing things. Some people have a different viewpoint. Some people look at it and say, hey, everybody is responsible for themselves. When I'm here, I'm here. When I'm gone, I'm gone. I am not that type of person. I want to make sure that my promises, the things that I promise my family during my life, whether I see it to the end or not, those things are still fulfilled. There's a way that we can do that. There's a way that we can go out and assure that your family is taken care of even in your absence. So here's what I decided to do. I went out and got a 20-year term life insurance policy. And the reason why I chose this type of policy is because I don't need life insurance for the duration of my life. I just need it for a period of time. And I chose a 20-year period of time that I wanted to cover. What it would give me time to do was build wealth, build my own wealth during that time. So after I got to the 20-year mark, I would no longer need insurance. Now I am insuring myself. I've built my own wealth, right? So term life insurance, because it's for a period of time. The company I went through is called Zander Insurance Company. It was recommended to me by someone named Dave Ramsey. He's a trusted source of advice for me. So if you want to check that out, Zander Insurance Company, you might want to look into that if you're interested in a life insurance policy. My policy was in the amount of $1 million, right? And I just had to go through a very simple physical. And once that physical was completed, I was granted a $1 million insurance policy, and it's at about $106 a month. So roughly $100 a month for a 20-year term life insurance policy, so that if something happens to me within that 20-year window, my life is insured for $1 million, right? Once that 20-year term is up, now I don't have insurance anymore because I don't need it. Now I am just relying on the wealth that I've built. Basically, you're insuring yourself. So that's how I look at insurance. I don't look at insurance as a wealth building vehicle necessarily. I look at it as protecting myself against the downside risk, the risk that we all face. We could unexpectedly pass away, right? We could be here today and gone tomorrow and not have a whole lot of control over that. So in the event that happens, I want to be able to leave money here, a nest egg, so that my family, my inner circle, continues to thrive, continues to be able to move on with life without having to worry about money. Now, also remember that you can utilize a whole life insurance policy, because some people want the insurance for the whole of their life, and some people want to combine investing and insurance. I personally like to keep those separate. There are some good parts, it seems, to having a whole life insurance policy. I've been looking at something called infinite banking. That seems like it's some interesting things about it. I haven't looked enough into it to make a decision on it yet, but I will say that it's interesting. For me right now, term life as opposed to whole life. I am not looking to combine term and whole right now, so I'm probably going to stay in the area of term. So in conclusion, I have a life insurance policy to protect against the unexpected, because as we know, life happens. And then sometimes life happens not to exist anymore. So when that time comes, will you be prepared? I certainly am striving to be myself. At the end of the day, we can leave money, and if we don't leave anything in those that we leave money to, then it won't matter much at all. Life is not just about me. My life extends beyond me. Now, on a more lighthearted note, but still very serious, you better know what you're doing. You better be able to trust the people around you if you put $1 million on your head, because people have killed, people have wiped other people out for a lot less than $1 million. So keep that in mind. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I certainly hope this information has been helpful. If you're interested in learning more about the freight broker business, I'll leave a free link in the description. It's my 5-video series, and I titled it, How the Load Movement Process Works. It gives you a chance to come into the office with me and watch me as I move loads, talk to shippers and carriers. That way you can get a better understanding of how the business works before you decide to come into it. And then if you want to know more about how we go out and find the customers that we do business with, I'll leave a free video right here. So until the next time, I wish you the very best in your life and business. See you at the top, because the bottom is much too crowded.